All right, we're here with Cody Crowley, fresh off the Abel Ramos victory. First and foremost, how do you feel about your performance in that fight? Put you one step closer to getting a world title, and it was a phenomenal performance on a great fight card.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, it's still fresh. It's been a minute, but it still feels fresh to me. I went and did some traveling after it. Had to take care of my family a little bit, go home to Canada, but man, I'm still lit about it. I'm excited. You're right, it gets me one step closer to a world title, which I've worked my whole entire life to get to. And now it's like all I got to do is show up. You know, I put in all that work, and getting up and working, that's nothing new. So really, I just wake up every day, continue my day-to-day life. It's not any harder, and it just keeps getting better and better and more successful. So I'm extremely grateful. I'm happy. Congratulations to Abel Ramos. He gave a hell of a fight. He still didn't accept the Cody Crowley challenge. I asked him to meet me at the center of the ring, but that didn't happen. He was on the ropes a lot. Hats off to him. He's a warrior. But, next fight, that world title, maybe I'll get that Rock'em Sock'em robot in the center of the ring.
Speaking of Rock'em Sock'em robots, I mean, you wanted him to sit in the middle of the ring with you.
There's Errol Spence is Rock'em Sock'em robots.
I was going to say, how many people in the welterweight division do you think will actually meet you in the center of the ring?
I think you're looking at one of the guys tomorrow night that will, and that's Errol Spence. That dude, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a car, or a car. That dude can just walk through anything in life. So here's something that I don't think he can walk through. And I say that with a full heart and honesty.
That's because you was at Mayweather's gym for a while. Did you ever see Errol when he's worked out and sparred there?
No, we never crossed paths, really. I always heard these stories of this spooky man, kid, right? Everyone was talking about this kid coming in, just tearing it up, doing so good, and then, rumors, did he drop Floyd or something like that, right? But it got me excited hearing about him, and that was motivation for me. Another kid coming up, doing that to a great, shoot, I want to be like him, and he's been one of the guys I've been looking up to. Even Crawford. I made my pro debut on Crawford's first world title when he fought Gamboa. That was my pro debut. He won a world title. I'm 22-0 now, and this dude's still a world champion? What? Hats off.
I mean, let's talk about the fight. I mean, you saw the way in, you saw the energy. I know one day you dream of having your moment there as well. In your mind, how big is this fight from the fights you've seen?
I don't think people realize how big it actually is. It kind of feels like a Hagler-Hearns coming back around full circle. That fight, people hear that name. They don't know weight division or anything like that, but they just know boxing. It was some crazy fight. This is one of those fights where when they hear Spence versus Crawford, people 10, 20, 30 years from now who aren't even in boxing will know, oh, yeah, that was a big fight. That was a big one.
So here's the crazy thing. When Oscar De La Hoya fought Tito Trinidad, everybody thought it was going to be a great fight. The second half of De La Hoya Trinidad wasn't fun. De La Hoya was on his bicycle, lost the decision. But is there any chance with these two that we could have a bad fight? It looks like it's almost impossible.
No, it looks like they're both willing to give their life up for the fans, up for claiming their legacy, which is becoming the greatest welterweight unified champion in the world, which not many people can do. This is a chance at almost immortality for them. I do this lives on well after I pass. So this is a chance for them to really carve their name in greatness.
You're a man who is about will. Your will has gotten you so far in your career, in your life. When you talk about meeting people in the center of the ring, it's about, my will is better than yours. I will break you. Who do you think has a stronger will between Spence and Crawford?
It's changed. I don't know. I used to think that Spence, I know Spence has this will, this undeniable will inside of him. But when I look on the outside, those car accidents, he's not old, but he is moving slower. And then before I thought Crawford was always old, but now watching All Access for two episodes, I'm like, the dude's moving like he's 20. He's got this fire. He still looks old, But this fire in him, that's his will. That's his heart. That's his determination not to give up, even though his body might say different. So who has more will in this one? It's very, very close, but still 60-40 Spence.
60-40 Spence. What's it based on for you? What is the real breaking point of this fight between these two fighters to get one over the top over the other?
Real point for me is when I look in a man's eyes. When I look in Spence's eyes, I feel one thing. When I look in Crawford's eyes, I feel another thing. So that's where the 60-40 comes in.
Talk about that, because you stare fighters in their eyes before fights. What do you see in Spence's eyes? Because there are a lot of people that look at Spence and they go, he looks so at ease.
He don't care. That's the thing. Myself, I've been trying to work on myself a lot the last couple fights. And that's one thing I've been doing more and more every time I go to a weigh-in. Before, I used to have to internally shell myself up and put on that mean face, and act like I don't have no emotion. Act like you can't with me, right? And you can tell in a second if a guy is true or false on that, right? But when I come out now and I don't try to be mean or tough or anything like this, I know. I don't care what all you guys think. I know what I can do. And I don't care about anything else. It's something different in a man's eyes. You can see when someone is scared in their eyes, and you can see when someone is just as content. And to see someone content when they're taking a soul is a scary thing.
That's what I was going to ask you. What did you see at that weigh-in between those two fighters in their eyes?
This one? Yeah. I didn't see. I just got here. I didn't see the weigh-in. I meant looking into each of them and seeing their eyes. That's what I got the 60-40 from. But, no, man. Respect to both, but Spence, I believe, has this.
Spence by decision, or you think Spence stops him?
Decision.
Last question, because we're talking about your future and what's next for you, and we can't wait to see you back in the ring, obviously. How far do you think you're away from getting a world title? If this happens and they move up and these titles get vacated, if Spence and Crawford move up to 54?
Yeah, I believe we'll fight for a world title in November. I believe, I believe the rankings. I just fought for the WBC Eliminator, which makes me number 2, even though the WBC has Keith Thurman at number 1 right now, but he's been inactive for well over a year, which takes him out of any top 10. So you go to just the rules and legalities of it. It's me and Ugas who fight for the WBC world title end of October, November.
Does it matter who you fight for a world title? Do you look at somebody as like, I really want that fight? Or is like, whoever's got a title, I want to fight him?
I want to fight for the WBC. It doesn't matter who I fight, but I want to fight for the WBC title. That's the number 1 recognized, most well-known. I don't think I'm ranked in the WBA, so I couldn't fight for that title. I was ranked there at 17-0, but not now, so I don't know how that works.
Sanctioning bodies, all right. What's your take on it?
You guys know me. I speak pretty freely. 3 fights ago, I fought the number 1 IBF contender, and I was ranked number 8 at the time. I beat him, and then I get ranked number 10. No, 14. 14.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty fair to say right there. The number 1 ranking system is BoxRec. Do you want to know why? There's no handshakes or favors or winks on a computer system. It's simple math. 1 + 1 is 2. And that scoring system equals out to 2 people and to come at 1 and 2, right? BoxRec, I'm ranked number 4 overall, all in all. And I feel like that's the best system because that system is not a biased opinion.
Last question. This time next year, where's Cody Crowley?
This time next year, Cody Crowley is a world champion.